Hello there, welcome to writing class. In today's class, let's learn how to write a task 1 IELTS essay, especially a line graph. How you can execute a perfectly band 9 task 1 line graph. So what tips the tips I am going to say over here, you have to focus and practice in your writing, and that are going to bring you a better score. So let's see the question over here first. The graph below shows the consumption of three spreads from 1981 to 2007. So this is a recent question from IELTS task 1. So let's see what this line graph is about. So a line graph is this one, like the data are in the form of a line and it is depicted in the form of a graph. This is a recent IELTS question about a line graph. So let's see what all are the data are given here. So this is a bar line graph about the consumption of three spreads from 1981 to 2007. So what this is about? This is about the consumption of spread. Let's see what all are the spreads. There are three types of spreads are given over here. The first one is margarine, second is low fat and reduced spreads, and third is butter. So you got it. Three spreads means these all are the three spreads. And see, the colors I have depicted over here. This is for low fat and reduced spread. This is for butter, and this blue is for margarine. So first you have to understand what a line graph is. See how it is given. It is given in the form of a grams, not in kgs or any other measures. It's in grams, and here the year is given, that is from 1981 to 2007. So all of this, till this much part, I think you understood how you can read, basically understand a line graph, what it is, what all the things are given. First you have to understand the basic concept. Let's see now how you can write an introductory paragraph for this line graph. As you know that the introductory paragraph for most of your task 1 is writing. That might be your IELTS, your line graph. That might be you will have pie chart or you will have bar graph. So there are different forms of data will be given, but the introduction part will remains the same. Like, if you really know how to write a simple one or two sentence introduction for your task 1, this is going to benefit you for your IELTS exam. So let's see how you can write a line graph introduction. So always start with what the data, it is about the line graph illustrates. As I have mentioned in my earlier video also, as I have said, illustration means something like in the form you can visualize in clear terms. This is a clear visualization in the form of a line. So that's why it is called a line graph. So we are going to say that the line graph illustrate rather than shows. Shows is a wrong word, so you should never use in your writing. That is going to cost you a lot of scores from your IELTS. So illustrates the amount, how the amount is given. Three kinds of spreads. What all are the spreads? You can put it in brackets or you can write it without brackets as well. So for your understanding purpose, I have put it in brackets. Three spreads which were consumed over 26 years. So I have executed it in a way that I have counted from 1981 to 2007. How many years are there? It's almost 26 years. So exactly I have mentioned from 26 years from when to when. That is from 1981 to 2007. And you have to make a full stop over here. And then you have to say that units are measured in grams. If it is in kgs, you can write in kilograms. Okay, so these all are the first paragraph. So focus on your first paragraph. When as an examiner reads your essay, if the examiner gets clear idea of what you have written for your intro, that is going to give you a lot of difference in your bands. So try to use this way, and as I have read this thing to you, you clearly understood what this line graph is about, what all are the datas are given, how many spreads are there, how many years over a span from 1981 to 2007, and what is the measurable terms. It's in the form of graph. So you understood clearly what this is about. So this kind of introduction you should follow in your writing. Okay, so let's move on to the remaining paragraph, how you can write overall. So earlier also I have said that when you start your IELTS task 1, always task about the overall trend rather than stick to a specific trend. It is always best to use it in the form of an overall trend. So overall, the consumption of margarine and butter decreased over the period given, while for low fat and reduced spread it rose. See how my sentence is clearly states about what is the major trend of my line graph. My line graph clearly explains about the consumption of margarine and butter decreased. See, margarine and butter, how this blue and green decreased. See how you can see both has shown the tendency of decrease, or the grams have exponentially decreased, right? However, see over here the low fat and reduced spread rose significantly. However, it didn't decrease as much as how much margarine and butter was decreased. So this is the major trend. So I have written in clear terms, overall the consumption of margarine and butter decreased over the period given, while I have used a connective over here. As I mentioned in my earlier writing also, I have said that when you write task 1, any form of task 1, even if it is bar graph, line graph, pie chart, pictures or anything, always use comparison. Comparison is the best way you can express your ideas in a short sentence. So while for the low fat and reduced spread it rose. So this literally a single sentence shows the overall trend of this particular line graph. So whomever the examiner is, when they see these two things, I mean your introduction and the first sentence, they are going to give you more than 8. Okay, I can assure you that. So try to practice with this. And next sentence, at the start of the period, butter was. So again, I am going to in depth. At the start of the period, when the period has started, butter was the most popular spread, which was replaced by margarine from 1991 to 2000, and following that the low fat and reduced spread became the most widely used spread in final years. See, from the bar graph, we can understand that at the start of the period, see, it started, when is the starting? It is 1981. See, at the start of the period, butter was the most popular. See, start of the period, butter was the most period. How much it comes? It's almost over here, right? So, butter was the most popular, but which was later replaced by margarine. But even though butter was very popular, but later the trend has exponentially decreased to an extent where margarine has taken its chance. Where you can see that how the rate of margarine or the consumption of margarine increased, and that is from 1991 to 2001. See how it is increased. Approximate ratio is given till here. This is the highest, right? Margarine is replaced, and following that, after that, what happened? Like low fat and reduced spread, even though it rose significantly between these 1991 and 1996, and it rose exponentially. I can say that skyrocketed over the years, and almost it crossed to the level of margarine, and then it's gradually, even though it shows a decreased trend, but other two are decreasing a lot when it compared to the low fat.